Welcome to our first Tejano virtual events for spring 2025. Thank you all for coming. We are going to have some great information to share with you today. In today's session, we will be learning about EPCC tutoring services and Tejano passports. Before I hand it over to our presenters, I would like to mention that the session will be recorded, so you can come back to see it later, or you can tell your friends about it and they can watch it as well. Also, this event will provide Tejano passport points. We will post a code at the end of the chat towards the end of the session. If you have any questions, ask us at the end and we'll be happy to help. So now at this time, please mute your mics for the best sound experience. Otherwise, the feedback could interfere with the information we're about to share. Without further ado, I will hand it over to our awesome presenters. Thank you.
Here's hoping I'm one of the awesome presenters. Hi, I'm Dr. Andrea Wolf, and I'm going to talk to you for a few minutes about Tejano Passport Program. First of all, thank you so much for joining us. We're really excited to be able to share some of the stuff that's happening here at EPCC, and the Tejano Passport Program is one of the great ways of doing that. So the Tejano Passport Program is a way that we want to encourage our students to engage with the community as well as document that engagement. So why should you do it? Well, first of all, I bet you had no idea there was so much to do in El Paso. Often I'll ask different students, hey, what do you do in El Paso? And they'll say there is nothing to do. I have calendar events that will completely prove you wrong, I promise you. It's an amazing how many things are actually hard to do here. And most of it's free, which is amazing to me as well. All right, so what you do when you have the Tejano Passport Program, when you participate, you can earn points to a graduation medallion, and they look like this. Ta-da! And you can wear these for commencement. By the way, faculty and staff can do this too. A lot of classes give extra credit, so you can ask your instructors, hey, do you give extra credit for going to Tejano Passport events? And many of them do. And there's a way to show them that you went. I encourage you to follow us on Instagram. EPCC_Tejano Passport, because first of all, you get to see this guy. This is Passport Paul, mostly because I'm camera shy, but he's in all the different events, and you get to have the events sent to you, to your Instagram account, about all the upcoming events happening both here on El Paso Community College campuses, as well as the broader El Paso. Okay, so how do you find it? It's super easy. You're just going to go to the main website, www.epcc.edu, and you go on the search and you just type in Tejano Passport, and then there'll be usually the very first thing that comes up, and they'll have our page. And I'm going to point out a couple things on our website. You see Tejano Passport, and on the far left where the arrow is pointing, you'll see the event calendar. In the middle, though, you'll see first time scanner QR code. It's really tiny letters, but trust me, this is a really useful link. And then the other side, you'll see permanent QR code locations, and we're going to talk about all three of these places. So first, the event calendar. So in order to participate in the Tejano Passport Program, what you do is you come to the event calendar, and this one was taken for February. If you notice this picture, the screenshot I took from February, I took a couple days ago. If you look today, you'll see a much fuller calendar, and that's the first thing I want to talk about. The calendar constantly is updated. More and more events are constantly added. This is because it's El Paso, and often we have like 1 week ahead of time, but many events are put on there way ahead of time. So you have this calendar of events, and it's constantly changing, so please keep looking at this calendar to find out upcoming events. So what you do is you click on one of the events, and it'll look like this. Now, it's really important to understand that to absolutely check the details before you go to any of these events. It's really important in the details. See, at the very beginning, it'll say when, it'll say where, but it'll also tell you in the details if there's any charge. Usually it's free, but sometimes there's a small fee, like for if you go to the Trans Mountain Theater, sometimes they'll say, hey, you need a can of food. Well, that might be a possibility, or it might be $5. If you go to the McGoffin home, that's $4. If you go to the the Franklin Mountains, that's $5. So sometimes there's a small fee, but usually it's free. This is where you'll find out. It'll also tell you where to go look for the code, which we'll talk about in just a moment. This is really important information. So to know where to go to get the code. Sometimes it's just a link, like if it's an online event, like the TVE events, you'll see a link, and that'll take you to the event. And they'll tell you, hey, they'll give you the code. or it's a physical code and you have to go find it. All of our community partners, they have their own ways of doing things, and sometimes they change their mind about where they want to keep the code. So always look in the details to find out where to find the code. Finally, I want to talk about the special event code, the very thing at the bottom. You'll see a really tiny print, and it's circled in red. It actually says special event code, and I want to talk to you about the different kinds of codes. There are 3 kinds of codes. One is a special event code. This means that code is just for that event, and it's only good for 24 hours. We do it for 24 hours in case an event is happening where there's no internet, or you need to go back, or there's some problem. You can always go home and then log in physically and then get your points. So special event code, only good for 24 hours. But you'll also see a permanent event code. You see at the top, on the top right-hand side, it says permanent event. A permanent event code means there's a code there and it's good all the time. So for our permanent code locations, like all the museums, like the Art Museum and the History Museum, they have a permanent code. Each code can only be used once. So if you go to, say, the Art Museum or the History Museum, and you go and you scan that code, that's all the points you can get. However, we devised the system so that, let's say, for example, the History Museum, you go there and you see the museum and you get those points. But let's say in a couple weeks later, they have a really cool lowrider show, which they did about 2 summers ago. Well, we can give them a special event code just for that event, and you can return to the museum and click that code for the special event code. So it's really important. So for example, at the Franklin Mountains, there's tons and tons of hikes, but only some of them are special event. Most of them are the permanent code. You go there, and if you've already scanned that code, you're not going to get more points if you return and go to another hike. Only if that event, a special event that they're having, has that special event code. So be sure to look at that stamp. If you've already been someplace, is it the permanent code that you've already scanned, or is it a special event? Finally, there's a volunteer event. Now, these are very rare, but sometimes we have them. Say at the Rio Bosque, they have cleanup days. These codes are worth 10 points. And like I said, they're rare, but they do come up. And that's what this code tells you. You're supposed to volunteer for the event, and when you do, you can get those 10 points. Ta-da! Okay. Some could, yes, Liz. Some hikes do count as Tejano passport points, no doubt. We actually have some that are special event hikes that are done by faculty here at EPCC. So first time scanner code. Remember I told you about that first time scanner code? This code is always available. You won't keep getting points, but you can always get into the app by using this code. 2 things I want you to point out. One is there's a QR scanner. You could just use your phone for scanning the QR. However, for whatever reason, sometimes the scanner doesn't work for whomever or for certain phones. It's an interesting situation, a phenomena that maybe some phones need really good cell reception in order for it to work. Don't worry though, you can always take a picture, and there's always the direct link. So the thing that's circled in red, that's the direct link. So if you're ever in a situation where your phone's not working, or it's not working, or not great reception, you can just take a picture, and as long as you log into the app later on by using this direct link, you can get your points. And this code, the codes look exactly like this. They all look alike, except obviously the QR code is different, and the URL is going to be different for each code. So there's the first time scanner code. It's so whenever, let's say you go to some of these events and you want to use it for extra credit, and you want to show about, hey, this is how this is where I went, and I'll show you how to do that in just a moment. You can always click the first time scanner code. You can some faculty use it in the class so everyone can kind of practice. And this is what you do. When you scan the code, it'll look like this. Now, I have to say for a moment, we have a team member named Nasser in IT who took a lot of time to make the background look like an actual passport. So we all have to take a moment here and go, ooh, yeah, very pretty, right? All right, so you'll get this screen, and you need to put in your EPCC username and password. Now, keep this in mind. That username is exactly the same as your EPCC credentials, except it's only the first part of your email. It's not the entire one. It's all of it up until the @ symbol. This is a key thing that a lot of students mistake. Do not use the @epc.edu or anything after the @ symbol. It's just your first part, and the password is exactly the same. So mine, you'll see, it says Okiros and my password. That's how you log in. Okay. Once you log in, it'll look like this. It'll say you just earned so many points. So online events are 3 points. When you go in person, it's 5 points, and the volunteer codes are 10 points. Now you have 2 buttons on the bottom. One says events attended and the other says log out. These are very important. So click on events attended and you will see all that you went. So you can always use the app online, the first time scanner code. You won't keep getting the points, but you can get in to click events attended and you can show anyone, here's where I went and here's the points I've earned. Always click log out. This is very helpful. If you always click log out, your system will be ready to go to the next code. Also, one phone can work with a lot of different students. As long as they click log out, another person can log in and get the points and log out again. There are permanent QR code locations. We have at this point 26 permanent code locations. And if you click it, this is just the first page. It scrolls all the way down. Please check out these requirements because every place is different. For example, the History Museum, they want you to look for it. They think it's kind of a fun thing for students to look for the code and like a scavenger hunt. The Art Museum, you have to ask for it at the visitor center. The Holocaust Museum, they're going to say, hey, you need to be there at least 45 minutes before it closes. Every place has a rule, so please, please, please look at the details under the location that tells you maybe their operating hours are different, or maybe there's something you need to know before you go. Also, I should mention that, the turnaround time for people who work at these museums changes amazingly fast. There was at one point 3 different managers for the art museum in 1 year. It was crazy. My point is that sometimes a new person can come on and they'll say, hey, I don't know what you're talking about. I started work 2 weeks ago. I don't even know about the Tejano Passport program. Don't worry. I can always get you your points. I'll tell you about how that in a minute, but just in case something changes, don't worry, you'll absolutely get your points. So you go to events, you log in, you get points each time, and the points automatically add up. When you get 75 points, you can get a silver medallion, which looks like this. Ta-da! And then you can get a gold medallion, which looks like this. So 100 points and 75 points. The reason why we did this is that some people didn't hear about the Tejano Passport program until they're almost done with their EPCC experience. And they're like, oh, you can get 75 points in 1 semester. It's harder getting 100. You can only get 1 medallion. So if you get the 75 one, you can't then keep going for another 100. So if you think you're going to have time to get the 100, wait. Wait, you can only get 1 medallion. And of course, you can wear them for commencement. So when you have enough points, keep this in mind. I won't know it. I'll have no idea. You're going to have to go to the website again and scroll all the way at the bottom. And when you do so, you'll see the medallion application. Now, keep in mind that it's not an application. All it is your name, your phone number, and your email address so that I can contact you and say, hey, did you earn the points? Awesome. Where can I meet you to present to you your medallion? But again, I won't know it. You have to let me know. Also, remember I told you I have a magic wand? At the bottom of that website is my email address, okiros@epcc.edu. It's always there, so if you ever have a problem, contact me through my email. I have a magic wand. I can make it all better, I promise. And I can absolutely make sure you have your points. But please let me know, because this is how I know, hey, there's a problem and I can fix it. So that way it's easier for everyone. Finally, yes, please, please, please follow us. Again, follow me on Instagram. You'll see Passport Paul. Yes, Norma, staff and faculty can also get medallions. Anyone with an EPCC credentials can do this program. That includes dual credit students. And yeah, follow me on Instagram. You'll see this guy a lot. In fact, I'm going to go and check out something happening at the VB today, and probably bring this guy, and you'll see pictures of it. So do follow us. We also are on X and on Facebook for us older people who still use Facebook. And again, there's my name, and thank you so much. I really appreciate the time to tell you about the Tejano Passport program.
Does anyone have any questions for Mrs. Quiros before we go on? I mean, Dr. Webb, before we go on? We do have a question. Do we have to wait until the year we graduate to fill out the form?
Absolutely not. Whenever you have enough points, you just let me know. So it could happen your first semester here. The points add up your entire time here at EPCC. So it does. You can as soon as you get them, you can let me know. But it's only until you have an EPCC username and password. So after you graduate, you can't still get the points. Keep that in mind. But yes, anytime you've earned enough points, just let me know. How often can you get a medallion? I'm not sure, I don't think I understand. So you can only get one medallion, and it's whenever you earn enough points, you can get that medallion. And that's the medallion you would wear for commencement. Hope, Priscilla, did I answer your question? Or do you mean points, perhaps? Priscilla, did you receive a silver medallion or a gold medallion? Gold. Then that's you've earned the medallion. Congratulations, Priscilla. And I wish I could. I'm trying to picture your face because we have a lot of students that get our medallions in 2022. That's so cool. But yes, you can wear your medallion for commencement whenever that is. But no, you can only earn one medallion. I had once had a student who earned like 300 points and was very disappointed they only could get one medallion. But yes, it's only one medallion. Any other questions? Ta-da! Okay, well then I'm going to pass this on over. Thank you again.
Thank you, Dr. Wolf. I hope you all had a great first week of school. Thank you for being here today. And again, thank you, Dr. Wolf, for sharing the valuable information about the Tejano Passport Program and all its benefits. As we move on, I'm going to ask you a question first. Who can the students turn to for help outside of their classes? Anybody? Well, it's the student success tutors, of course. Very good, Liz. Yay. So today we're going to look at the tutoring centers, the resources, and all through the Office of Student Success. Tutoring is a valuable and free instructional service which helps our EPCC students achieve better grades, pass courses, and prepare for testing requirements. Yes, ma'am, Ms. Ballinger, SSSP can also help. And then we're going to talk about them shortly. We strongly encourage you to seek tutoring services early in the semester and attend sessions on a regular basis and stay on top of your hours needed for time tracking. So what we do at EPCC is a collective goal to give you what you need through collaboration and conversation with faculty, counselors, advisors, and other departments. By connecting those dots, we can intentionally tell you and show you, the students, that there is free help available with your EPCC college level courses. So let's see how we can drive student success together. Now it's my pleasure to announce our managerial team: Diane Davis from RG Tutoring Center, Janice DeWitt, the manager for from the Retention Action Program at all 5 campuses, Mireya Pacias from our Student Support Services Program under the trio, Liz Olivas, manager from Mission Del Paso Tutoring Center, Cindy Velasco, the Northwest Tutoring Center manager, and I am Della Truman from the VV Tutoring Center. So welcome to face-to-face and online tutoring, where there are many benefits to tutoring. This is where we make those connections with you. We offer free face-to-face and online services benefiting the students through tutoring and academic support. As I mentioned, we encourage the students to come in early, get tutoring throughout the whole semester. That way there's less stress at the end. And we know that the benefits of tutoring, it encourages a higher level of thinking. It helps you with your content knowledge. It helps you to learn to become an independent learner and self-regulate with your patterns so that you can study. It totally increases your academic success. It helps you with the communication skills. And of course, it's free. So our tutors are very professional, friendly, and they're available at each of the 5 campuses in person, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. And they're also available online from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. every day of the week. And you can find them in Blackboard in the organization called Online Tutoring for EPCC students. So a couple of our overview, the objectives that we're going to be covering today, as we mentioned, the hours of operation, the number of tutors that we have in the courses available. We're going to show you the online tutoring flyer. We're also going to tell you about Wintermester and online tutoring that's available. We're going to show you how to access tutoring through Blackboard, give you a couple of best practices, and once you get in, how you'll see the welcome screen to begin with. With that comes important considerations as part of the tutoring. We're going to tell you about the Tutor Finder to help you find that special tutor that you need, and talk about campus tutoring resources throughout the district. To help us learn to improve our services, we're going to go over the tutoring session feedback. We're also going to cover our program for tutoring, Retention Action Program, also called RAP, the Student Support Services Program, SSSP. We're going to talk about other tutoring providers such as Sunday Numbers, and how your instructors will give you credit for the tutoring sessions through faculty reports that they have to request. And last but not least, we're going to cover the Tejano virtual event schedule for this semester, so you can continue to earn your passport points, as Dr. Wolf explained. And with that, I will turn it over to Miss Cindy. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you, Della. Hello. So let me fill you in on our face-to-face services. Our face-to-face services are district-wide: Mission Campus, Northwest, Rio Grande, Trans Mountain, and Valle Verde. Our hours of operation are from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., Monday through Friday. Our tutoring centers, we provide an array of resources. Aside from tutoring, we do offer on the request study skill workshops. In some of the campuses, we do offer assistance in registration. Students often come needing assistance in how to access their textbooks. We provide that resource as well. Or many students sometimes have difficulties navigating, either with Blackboard or even Pearson, WebAssign, whatever it may be. We do assist with that as well, among many other resources that we offer. We also offer one-on-one and small group tutoring sessions. We also provide, I know some centers, most of us do offer snacks as well, which is very helpful for small group tutoring sessions. Many of our tutors that we have on board, they tutor an array of subjects, and all of it, all the resources, as we discussed, is free. If you want more information on our services, you'll see in the slide we have our link, or you can, and later on in the presentation, we're going to discuss how to access our website. Aligned with that, we do have, if you want to take a snapshot of our different campus, our contact information and our location, please do so. Also, I want to encourage and emphasize that our tutors are trained. We do receive training pretty much on a weekly basis. We do have our major training once a semester as well, and they can tutor in Spanish. So for those of you who would prefer to be tutored in Spanish, we do have tutors that can assist with that. If for those of you who may be receiving services with CSD, we can offer assistance as well with the help and guidance with the CSD staff. So let me move on to the next slide. Okay, we also offer online tutoring. Our online tutoring hours of operation are 7 days a week, every day, from 12 to 9 p.m. You'll see there we have the QR code. If you want to try it with your phone, take a snapshot of it, or not a snapshot, but put your camera near the QR and you should have access. We also have flyers posted in our campuses, or just come by and we'll provide you the link and QR code so you can access our office. Okay. And further in our presentation, we will show you how to access all these either the links or the QR code to access our virtual office. On top of that, we will be discussing the Tutor Finder. That is a great resource for you to be familiar with and looking for and navigating the different tutors you're seeking out for certain subjects. Okay. Okay, and as I mentioned to you, we help in various subjects. We can assist. We have a lot of students coming in for math, science, physics, engineering. We have the retention action program that will even assist in some of the courses that are related to the career technical fields. We also further down the line, we have student support services that also have their virtual office that she'll discuss further and how to access all the resources that you can receive. Okay. And now I will hand it over to Miss Liz Olivas.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. So this is our online tutoring flyer. Hopefully you have already seen it. We send it out through the EPCC community announcements. You'll see it in the social media accounts, the Facebook, Instagram, belonging to EPCC News. So we do share this a lot on social media through email. You can also find it on Blackboard. Some instructors send it directly to you all. You'll see it in person in our bulletin boards throughout campus. So we really want to get the word out there to make sure that you guys are aware, like we've been saying, that friendly tutors are available for you guys 7 days a week online and Monday through Friday in person. And this flyer gets updated every semester. So you'll see our hours of operation on the top, which for a while now for online have been noon to 9, 7 days a week. And like I said, Monday through Friday from 8 to 5. Like Cindy said before, we do have tutors who can help you out in Spanish at various campuses. So just call ahead for that to make sure that we have that we have somebody in Spanish for the course that you might need help with. The online tutoring flyer has the online tutoring link. It also has the QR code in case you guys are trying to get help directly from your phone. And we do have those tips that you see there. Obviously, we want you to be prepared when you come in, either in person or face to face for tutoring. We will ask you for your name, who your instructor is. We do need to know your ID number, again, to keep track of your tutoring sessions. And of course, what class you need help with. So those are the basic things that the tutors will ask you for when you come in. And we do also suggest that you plan ahead, at the start of the semester, come in early on, even if you don't need help right away, at least so that you know where your tutoring center is, to familiarize yourself with the tutors. That way you know who's able to help you and at what times. We do want to let you know that sometimes on the weekends, we do get a little bit of a waiting list, especially for the courses where your assignments are due on Saturday or Sunday evening. So you might have to wait a little bit before you get help directly. But there are some times where we do have more tutors or more students than we have tutors, rather. So do plan ahead, please, and don't wait until the last minute to get help on the classes. And going along with that, we do want you to come regularly. Don't wait, like I said, until the last minute. Come in and get help with your homework once a week or twice a week, whatever you feel that you need. That way you don't fall behind on your courses. And having said that, I'm going to move on to our next slide. This slide, hopefully you did see it this past semester. If you're not a new student, this is our wintermester tutoring flyer. Wintermesters are usually 4 or 5 weeks long. So that means it's very similar to a summer semester. So you're going to have frequent exams, quizzes, homework assignments due. So if you do decide to take a wintermester, do be ready to stay on top of your assignments. There really is no time to fall behind on your assignments and your exams during wintermester. And it can be a little bit tricky because there are no other tutoring services available at that time, because obviously it's the wintermester, winter break. Most other employees and departments at the college are closed. but online tutors are available to help you. So hopefully, like I said, you have seen the flyer. Keep an eye out for it. We usually put it out in late November or very early December because we do want to give you a heads up as far as our hours of operation. That way you can decide if you are going to take a wintermester or which class to get so that you know that you do have that support available. So do check your email for the flyer. Like I said, as the same as with the regular online tutoring flyer, we do send it out by email. Some instructors include the flyer or the online tutoring link in the syllabus directly. And just a heads up, if you haven't taken a wintermester or you're considering taking a wintermester course, if you take a math course, some faculty do have mandatory tutoring hours. The typical amount that we've seen is 10 hours total throughout the whole wintermester. So you might be required to log in for help. And again, during the wintermester, online tutoring would be your one option. The face-to-face tutoring is not available because the campuses are closed. Another thing that we want you to be aware of is that the dates do vary based on each academic year for the wintermester schedule, but regardless of that, online tutoring is usually available 7 days a week. We do close for Christmas, for the New Year's, again, to give our staff some time off with their families. Recently, in recent years, we've had wintermester tutoring available from noon to 7 p.m. We do check the students' usage of our tutoring services, so we may tweak these hours as needed in future semesters. Now, we're going to talk about tutoring reports a little bit later on, but I just wanted to mention that we do offer tutoring for faculty during wintermester upon request. And again, the tutoring reports are only provided to faculty, not directly to students. Now, here we're going to talk about how to access online tutoring, because obviously for face-to-face tutoring, you just pick your location and you go in person. But for online tutoring, there's several ways that you can find us. We do recommend that you use Google Chrome as your browser. Students do encounter problems if you decide to use Safari or Internet Explorer, so we do recommend sticking with Chrome. So one way that you can access it is to use the link. You just go straight to epcc.edu/services/tutoring, and you will see a green icon that says Get Connected. You click that, that takes you into the online tutoring room. If you can't memorize or you don't have that link written down, you can also just go to your browser and Google EPCC Tutoring, and we are the very first link that pops up. It says Tutoring Center. That will take you straight into our website. Now, the Class Collaborate link, the second bullet point there, that it's a pretty long link, but if you do have the tutoring flyer that we send out every semester, the link is there, so you could also click on it directly from there. Another option is to go through the Blackboard Assist page. So when you go to Blackboard, on the left-hand side, you'll see a menu, which is in alphabetical order. You click Blackboard Assist, and then you find Tutoring Center, and then you can go directly into the online tutoring room from there. And just as an FYI, the Assist page also has other departments there, such as SSSP and Prep, so it has a lot of useful information for you all. Another option is to use the QR code, which you see here. So if you're on your phone, if you're not on your laptop or your PC, you can scan the QR code. That will take you straight into the Blackboard online tutoring room. Now, please note that some features, if you use tutoring on your phone, some features may look a little bit different than if you were using it on your regular PC browser. And like we said, please remember to have your EPCC ID number, the name of the course that you need help with. Those two things will help us get you the help faster because we'll know exactly which tutor can help you for those courses. And even more ways to access. So if those previous ways were not satisfactory to you, here's a few more. So from the my.epcc.edu webpage, there's several options. You can click, if you see on the upper right-hand side of this screenshot, that is the Blackboard icon. So you go to Blackboard, you would click on Assist, and again, you find the Tutoring Centers link there. And like I said, some instructors do include the direct link within your Blackboard content for your class, especially if it's an online only course. So that might be easier for you to do that. Another method is you can click on online assistance, also there on the top kind of middle of the screenshot. So you click on online assistance and you'll see a drop-down menu and you would select Tutoring Center from the drop-down menu. Another way is more on the left side of this screenshot. You would click on services. So if you go to services, you would click on academic tutoring and student success, and then you'll see the icons for online tutoring or for the tutor finder, which one of my colleagues will cover a little bit later in this presentation. And there we also have a video explaining how online tutoring works, and you get to hear directly from some of our tutors. Another way to access online tutoring is here on the top right where it says search. You would type in tutoring or tutor finder. That will take you into a list of links. And again, we are the very first link that says Tutoring Center. And now Diana is going to cover tutoring best practice.
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. So once you've done all of that and you've found the tutoring center, the first page that's going to come up is the Blackboard Collaborate. And what you need to do here is enter your name so that we can make sure that we have that for the tutoring reports. And then you're going to click Join Session. Once you enter the online tutoring room, you will receive a chat message from the lead tutor who will ask you how we can assist you today. In doing so, you would respond, I need help with my math, as an example, math 1314. And so then they will find a tutor that can help you with that class, and the tutor will then move you to a breakout group. Once you're inside that breakout group, you'll need to provide your EPCC ID, the course, and the instructor's name so that we can notate that in our records, okay? And then after the tutoring session's over, we're going to give you a link for feedback so that you can give us an idea that you think something that might work better. If you really learned a lot from your tutor today, maybe you could give them some kudos. So all of that is available to you, and that helps us make the services better. Okay, so here is the landing page for the online tutoring. This is what you'll see once you enter the room. And as you can see, there's lots of information here. It also has our hours of operation, the days of the week. It has some important considerations. These are very important. You need to be aware of those. And there's also the link there for the feedback survey. Okay. So again, important considerations during the tutoring session. Tutors cannot help on quizzes or exams, even if the instructor states the tutoring center can. There's just too many ways to get in trouble with doing that. So that's one of our stipulations. Dishonesty will not be accepted. Occasionally, like Liz said earlier, we have more students than we have tutors. So sessions could be limited to 30 minutes when the student to tutor ratio is high. Okay. And as we mentioned earlier, we close at 9 p.m. Our last session, if you come into the room, the last person, you can't come in past 8:30, because then that would give you a half-hour session. Okay, something to keep in mind. Come early.
Oh,
Okay, is this still me? Sorry. Go ahead, Janice.
oh, that's okay. Just to let you guys know, if you want to download this presentation, on the right hand upper right hand of your screen, there's a box with an arrow, so you can download this presentation with all the links. They are active. As we were talking about earlier, is the Tutor Finder. This is a great resource that can be utilized. And if you go to My EPCC and on the right-hand side for the search box, type Tutor Finder, 2 words, and pick the first link that comes up. Once you click on that link, you'll see over here on the left-hand side of your screen, it'll ask you to select a course or view all tutors. Now, if you know what course you want, then you would select a course, and then you would click the subject button, and it'll have a drop-down, and you select which course you're interested in on finding a tutor. Then after that, you would select the course. For this example, we picked ITSC 1301. Once you select the course, it will list all the tutors that are available for that course from Sunday to Saturday. And if you notice, I know it's kind of hard to see, but next to the tutor's name, up in the right-hand corner, it'll show what campus they're at. So TN for Trans Mountain, VV for Valle Verde, MDP for Mission Del Paso, RG for Rio Grande, and NW for Northwest. And the reason that's put there is if you see the little body with the time, that means that tutor is tutoring face-to-face at that campus. Now, if you see the arrow, that means that tutor is tutoring online. You can either click on that time, or you can click on the online tutoring button, and it'll take you straight to the online tutoring room. Now, there are other areas of campus tutoring resources that's found underneath the Tutor Finder. On the left-hand side, it says Campus Tutoring Resources. And then on the right-hand side, once you click on that, it'll list all the campuses. For this example, we're utilizing Mission Del Paso. Once you click on which campus you're looking for other resources, you will see which campus, Mission Del Paso, and it'll list all the resources that are available for tutoring. Then it'll list the room number, the contact number, and a brief description, letting you know if it has face-to-face tutoring and their hours of operation, because they are subject to change in different areas. And it also has an online assistance. And if they do have a link, you can click on that link and it'll take you straight to their online services. Earlier, we talked about the tutoring session feedback. It is only 10 questions, and it's a great way to see how our team is doing or where we can improve areas. This is given to the student in the chat at the end of their tutoring session, and I'll just read a couple of them out. I absolutely love how they work. No improvement needed. Tutor was particularly kind and a good tutor. Tutor was really patient and respectful throughout the session time. Great tutor with even greater knowledge. I will come back again. So as you can see, we get a lot of feedback on students that like the services they're getting provided. Now we're going to talk about the Retention Action Program, RAP. This is a free tutoring that gears towards students that are career and technical education, which is CTE majors, or if they're taking a CTE course. Now, let's say the student doesn't know if they're a CTE major or taking a CTE course. No problem. If they come to our face-to-face tutoring via Verde Campus A1401 by 8 a.m. or 5 p.m., we have a CTE student tracker. And all they have to do is give us their student ID number, and we can put it in there, and we can find out if the student is a CTE major. Now, if the student is a CTE major, we can tutor them in all the courses that they're taking, provided our tutors can provide that assistance. Now, if they're only taking a CTE course, our tutors can only provide services for just that course. It's done on a first come, first served basis. No appointments are needed. And we tutor in multiple courses. There's a couple of brief ones: accounting, business, computers, English, math, nursing, and much, much more. And we're also available online. So please check in with us and we can give you information of our tutors that are tutoring online. And now I'll go ahead and pass it on to Mireya.
Thank you, Janice. Good afternoon, everybody. I will be talking about the Student Support Services Program. We are an additional support program funded by the U.S. Department of Education. We are also known as SSSP. We offer services in tutoring, both in person and online, study skill workshops. We assist students with filling out the FAFSA, with registration assistance, transfer guidance for those participants that are planning to transfer to a four-year institution. We offer financial literacy workshops and much more. Those are just a few of the holistic services, comprehensive services that the SSSP program offers. We are opened Monday through Friday. We have presence at 4 out of the 5 campuses. So we have presence at the Rio Grande campus, Valle Verde, Mission del Paso, and Trans Mountain. We do not have presence at the Northwest campus. Our offices are opened Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., and we offer the in-person tutoring. Our virtual office hours vary, but we do update our hours on our webpage. For spring right now, we are offering virtual until from 8 a.m. till 8:30 p.m. Monday through Friday, and Saturdays 9 to 1 p.m. Our link is provided here. So if you want to go ahead and connect with our virtual office, we have our social media accounts if you'd like to join and follow us to keep up to date on our services and hours, whatnot. How to join though, because this is a grant funded additional program, we do have any potential students that are interested in applying, they do have to fill out an application. You can stop by in person or you can log in to our virtual office to fill out the application. Once you schedule an orientation session with an advisor, you'll be all set for the services, okay? Here on the bottom left-hand part of the screen here, I went ahead and listed the SSSP eligibility criteria. So as long as the student's a U.S. citizen or permanent resident, there are certain income guidelines that need to be met as well, and have the need for academic support and be either low income first generation or a student with an individual with a disability. So those are the criteria. On the right hand side of the slide here is also the QR code for students who want to submit the application online. So if you scan that QR code, the electronic application will populate, you can submit, and then we will follow up with you. Okay, and again, students can log online if they need guidance with the filling out the application, or stop by in person for application support as well. Now, moving on to an additional resource here, and this is an additional tutoring option, and it's called Sunday Numbers. The unique thing about this particular additional tutoring option is that it is ran by instructors, faculty, 2 math professors. So Professor Albert Isasi is the one that runs the in-person Sunday Numbers based out of the Trans Mountain campus, room 1136. And then there is a list of the courses that he does tutor. And Professor Olivia Isasi is the one that facilitates and does the actual online developmental math Sunday Numbers. So that's a really neat additional resource for our students. All right, so now next up is the faculty reports request.
Hello again, everybody. So we mentioned earlier that we provide faculty with a weekly report that shows all of their students' activities in any of our tutoring centers. So they have to request this report each semester, and we recommend that students should keep track of their own tutoring sessions throughout the semester because we cannot provide you with your individual report. All right. So we have there on our flyer, we have the Tutor Finder link, we have the tutoring link, and then my name and Liz Olivas were kind of the leads on the tutoring report, so our information is there. And then I'll turn this back over to Della.
So now as we come to our last slide, this is the Tejano virtual events and all the work that goes into it so that you guys can get your passport points accumulated as you work towards your medallion. The Office of Student Success features the TVEs to reach all EPCC students to let them know that we are here to help. The flyer is going to show different student success topics and the Happy Math Hour topics for the whole semester. Keep an eye out in your email for weekly flyers for the Happy Math Hour session covering Math 1314 and 1324 material to take you through your assignments for the entire semester. The sessions are provided by our caring instructors, Ms. Yvette Chuca, Mr. Ruben Carizales, and Mr. Albert Isasi also. The 1 p.m. sessions are fun and informative topics like the one you're here for today. We also cover mental health, the Writing Center, CSD, origami, library services, memory tricks, and so many others. So be sure to follow the link to join in. The sessions are held every Friday. Happy Math Hour at 11 and the student success topics at 1 p.m. So thank you for being here. That covers the tutoring resources and the overview for the Tejano passport points. Do you guys have any questions? And this slide shows all of our staff under the Office of Student Success that we would like to say thank you to as we work towards our goal, helping students succeed. Anybody have any questions as we wrap up?
Well, if there's no questions, we'll give you another couple of seconds while I share our TVEs for next week. Any questions? Thank you, Priscilla. We appreciate you. I would like to take a moment to thank all of our presenters for presenting today. I know it's a lot to come on in and present your PowerPoints and work on them and make sure it's including everything we need. And so we appreciate you presenters. And then we also appreciate our participants for coming in and having lunch with us today and watching the TVE. So next week for Happy Math Hour, we're going to have a combined session that's going to be evaluating combination of functions and going over composite functions. That will be our 11 a.m. session for Happy Math Hour at the same link. Then at 1 p.m., we're going to have a presentation from Christian Salas of the EPCC Mental Health Committee. Thank you all. I hope you'll have a wonderful start to your semester and a wonderful weekend. We'll still be here in case there's any questions. Thank you.